This morning, archaeologists in Egypt could be on the brink of solving an ancient mystery. They discovered markings on walls inside the tomb of King Tut.
Egypt has become a hotbed of archaeological discoveries in recent years, captivating the world and raising intriguing questions about the region's history and the interplay between ancient Egyptian and Greek cultures. From the mysterious pit of hands to the discovery of books of the dead and even the eerie phenomenon of screaming mummies, each new revelation inspires a never-ending quest to uncover its hidden wonders. Join us as we unveil some of the discoveries in Egypt that shocked the foundations of the world. Number 15. Queen Neith's Tomb. In 2010, archaeologists made a discovery that shook historians to their core. This discovery also shed more light on the lives of ancient Egyptian royalty, especially that of the 6th dynasty of Egypt, the era between 2680 and 2180 BC, known as the Age of the Pyramids. At the necropolis of Saqqara, a tomb of an unknown queen was discovered, along with a cache of 300 coffins and 100 mummies, just adjacent to the pyramid of King Teti. Unsatisfied with the nameless tomb, the researchers continued searching for clues of her identity until they finally found her name carved on a temple wall and written on a fallen obelisk at the entrance to her tomb. Then she was identified as Queen Neith, the wife of King Teti. The discovery of her tomb revealed that King Teti had a relationship with 4 women, his mother and his 3 wives, as opposed to what we earlier knew. Number 14. The Temple of Zeus. We're all familiar with the worship of Zeus in ancient Greece, but we didn't know that ancient Egyptians also worshipped Zeus. In the Sinai Peninsula, between the Pelusium Fort and a memorial church, a team of archaeologists discovered the remains of a strange temple built in honor of a deity, with the characteristics of both Zeus and the weather god Casios. The Zeus-Casios temple was identified with the help of 5-foot-tall pink granite pillars, which once served as the temple's entrance but collapsed due to an earthquake, and a collection of granite blocks that were likely part of a staircase that helped worshippers to reach the temple. It's said that in the early 20th century, a French Egyptologist, Jean Cladin, on one of his excavations of the site, found inscriptions of Zeus Casios, which were an indication that a temple for the god was built there during the Greco-Roman period, but he never excavated the entire site. The discovery raises new questions about the region's history and the relationship between ancient Egyptian and Greek cultures. Number 13. Mysterious sealed wooden coffin. In October 2020, archaeologists in Egypt announced the discovery of 59 well-preserved and sealed wooden coffins buried more than 2,500 years ago in a burial shaft at the Saqqara necropolis located south of Cairo. The coffins, stacked on each other in 3 layers, were decorated with detailed carvings and brightly colored hieroglyphics. On October 3rd of the same year, one of the coffins was opened for the world to see. Inside were the intriguing remains of a mummy completely wrapped in ornate burial linen, designed with brightly colored hieroglyphic pictorials that remained intact more than 2 millennia after the deceased interment. Near the coffins, a small statue depicting the god Ta-Soka, a unique amalgamation of the gods Ta and Soka, was found. Though the relationship between the statue and the coffins remains unclear, it could be that they belonged to priests who were part of the cult of Ta or Soka, or that the statue was simply a nearby religious artifact. This makes the religious practices of the ancient Egyptians more mysterious. Number 12. Golden Mummies. Just after the discovery of well-preserved mummies in 2020, another recent excavation was carried out in the same location, led by archaeologists from the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, and 250 tombs of mummies belonging to the 5th and 6th dynasties were discovered. These mummies are hailed as the most impeccably preserved mummies ever found. Noteworthy among them are Kunung Dejev, a priest inspector and noble overseer, Mary, a confidential guard of the pharaoh, and Fetek, a judge and scribe. While some mummies were adorned with gold leaves, One found in a 15-meter shaft encased in a limestone sarcophagus sealed as the ancient Egyptians left it 4,300 years ago stood out. This was the mummy of Hekashepes, entirely covered in layers of gold. While partially gold-adorned mummies are not uncommon, Hekashepes' mummy is the oldest complete mummy, completely swathed in gold, ever discovered in Egypt. Number 11. The Book of the Dead. The Egyptian Book of the Dead is a collection of ancient Egyptian funerary spells that help the deceased find their way to the afterlife to unite with the god of the dead, Osiris. Crafted during Egypt's Middle Kingdom around 1650 BC, these enchantments were initially etched onto scarabs and coffins. As time unfurled, scribes transcribed these ethereal verses onto papyrus scrolls in the New Kingdom era, 1550 to 1069 BC. Inside the book, there are different spells or magic verses. One, called Spell 125, shows a picture of a person's heart being weighed to make sure everything's fair and balanced. Another is the Negative Confession, where people say things they didn't do. There are also spells for different situations, like going out in the daytime or meeting gods and creatures in Osiris's world. Spell 168, which lists the gods and monsters of the caverns in Osiris's domain. And Spell 173, which is a long list of greetings from Horus to Osiris. Strangely, each part of the Book of the Dead starts with a special sentence in red ink to say what it's about. And every Book of the Dead was made just for one person, so they're all a bit different. Number 10. The Tomb of Osiris. An astounding revelation emerged in 2015 when a joint Spanish-Italian archaeological expedition stumbled upon an ancient replication of Osiris's tomb. Located in the cemetery of Sheikh Abda el-Qurna on Thebes' west bank in Egypt, the tomb complex, which had the exact features of the legendary Tomb of Osiris as recounted in ancient Egyptian lore, resembled a smaller version of the Osirion. On the left side of the temple was a wall with a carving of demons holding knives, with a long staircase leading to the underworld and another staircase going up to an isolated statue of Osiris. Also, an empty corridor was found, which is assumed to have been a water channel, like the Osirion in Abydos, and just below the statue was a burial chamber that reinforced the connection between the deceased and Osiris. While the exact purpose of the tomb is not entirely clear, it's believed to have been built as a sacred place for his devotees to pay their respects. Number 9. The Mysterious Pit of Hands. This next discovery will send shivers down your spine. The unearthing of skeletons of 16 human hands in the forecourt of the Hyksos Palace, who were immigrants of Southwest Asia in Avaris, Egypt, provides valuable insights into the practices and beliefs of the 1640 to 1530 BC era. Cutting off hands was a gruesome yet symbolic practice practiced by the Hyksos to count their slain enemies and ensure the defeated could not fight against Egypt even in the afterlife. During that period, soldiers would present the severed right hand of an enemy, as it was considered the stronger and more significant hand, in exchange for a prestigious award known as the Gold of Honor. This award took the form of a collar made of golden beads. It was a way to recognize and reward military prowess and bravery on the battlefield. The arrangement of the hand bones in specific manners, with right hands separated from left hands and wide splayed fingers, particularly on their palmar sides, with adult hands separated from those of children, suggests a deliberate and organized ritualistic practice. Number 8. King Tutankhamun's Trumpets. The discovery of 2 trumpets, one made of sterling silver and the other of bronze or copper, during the excavation of a tomb by Howard Carter in 1992 is fascinating. These trumpets were found in the tomb of one of Egypt's greatest leaders, adding to the intrigue and significance of the find. The bronze trumpet was discovered in the tomb's antechamber, among a collection of military objects and walking sticks decorated with wooden protective core images of the gods Ra-Horakhti, Ta, and Amun, suggesting a connection to religious and divine symbolism. The silver trumpet, on the other hand, was found in the burial chamber adorned with engravings depicting a lotus flower with sepals and calices, along with the praenomen and nomen of the king. After the bronze trumpet was stolen from the Egyptian museum and mysteriously returned days after, Hala Hassan, the curator of the Tutankhamun collection, said it possessed magical powers and that blowing into it would result in a war. Number 7. The ancient bust of Nefertiti. The limestone bust of Nefertiti, a great royal wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten, a prominent figure during the 14th century BCE, is an extraordinary and iconic artifact from ancient Egypt. Discovered on December 6, 1912, the bust is believed to be the work of Thutmose, created around 1345 BCE, as it was found in his workshop in Amarna, Egypt. While lacking inscriptions, the bust is widely recognized as Nefertiti due to her distinctive crown, consistent with other known depictions. This bust, celebrated as one of ancient Egypt's most famous works of art, admired for its beauty, smooth features, elegance, and exquisite craftsmanship, provides a striking glimpse into the appearance of the queen who may have briefly ruled Egypt. Number 6. The Great Pyramid of Giza Void. After years of consistent excavation at the Great Pyramid of Giza, recent discoveries come to light thanks to advanced scanning technology. Using cosmic ray muon radiography, archaeologists identified a hidden chamber, including a passage that's 30 feet in length and 6.9 feet in width, behind the distinct chevron construction of stones just above the Grand Gallery, which serves as the pyramid's entrance. While the exact purpose of this void is unknown, some believe it was used in redistributing weight within the pyramid. Others speculate it was an internal ramp for positioning roof blocks, perhaps left unfilled or loosely packed with rubble. Yet another group suggests it has a link to King Khufu's chamber. Whatever this void was made for, we're hopeful it'll be discovered soon, as it holds the potential to reveal many hidden secrets from King Khufu's time. Number 5. The Headless Mummified Falcons. A collection of artifacts was unearthed in a temple in the port city of Berenike in eastern Egypt, including a harpoon, statues, 15 falcons, and some eggs. These mysterious falcons were discovered placed around a pedestal, many lacking heads. To add some context, the falcon held significant cultural importance in ancient Egypt. Believed to embody Re, the god of the sun, and Horus, the god of kingship, its presence in Egypt was customary due to its ability to soar close to the sun. However, seeing its buried remains within a temple was strange. What added an eerie dimension to the discovery was the finding of a stele, inscribed with a warning against boiling heads in the shrine. This discovery hints at an ancient ritual, but the lingering question is, what kind of ritual occurred in the temple that led to that eerie inscription on the stele? Number 4. Mummified Crocodiles. Still on the discovery of mummified animals, in Qubat al-Hawa, a necropolis on Nile's west bank, archaeologists found 10 mummified crocodiles in a previously hidden tomb. These crocodiles, likely belonging to 2 different species, held significant cultural importance in ancient Egypt, linked to the deity Sobek, and viewed as intermediaries between humans and gods. The method of mummification applied to these crocodiles was quite unusual. Researchers speculate they were likely buried in the hot sandy soil, allowing them to naturally desiccate before being entombed. With a closer look, no resin was found on the crocodile, an unusual mummification practice believed to have occurred before the Ptolemaic period, between 332 and 30 BC. In addition, Dr. de Couper's research team said the crocodiles may have been placed there by worshippers of Sobek. It was also discovered that their fat was used as medicine to alleviate bodily aches, stiffness, and even combat baldness. The discovery is groundbreaking and could be a huge plus to modern medicine. Number 3. The Golden-Tongued Mummies. Guwesna Necropolis is a paramount archaeological site within the Nile Delta, housing various tombs in ancient Egypt. These include the late period, around 664 to 332 BC, the Ptolemaic period 332 to 30 BC, and the Roman period 30 BC to 641 AD. Over the years, many tombs have been discovered on this site, but two discovered in 2021 stood out. Mummies adorned with gold tongue-shaped amulets, thought to enable speech in the afterlife, and another group, their bones carefully wrapped in gold sheets, delicate gold ornaments designed in the likeness of scarab beetles and lotus flowers. Later in the same year, at the same site, scientists also discovered mummies of a man, woman, and a child dating back to 2,500 years with gold tongues. This gold was seen as the embodiment of the gods, particularly the skin of Ra, the sun god, linked with Osiris, the revered ancient Egyptian lord of the underworld. The golden trinkets, resembling scarab beetles and lotus blooms, symbolize creation and rebirth in the rich tapestry of ancient Egyptian beliefs. Number 2. The Screaming Mummy. In recent years, archaeologists have discovered mummies with unusual facial expressions, ranging from the smiling ones to those with agony written on their faces. This next discovery is the latter's case, though not the same as the screaming Egyptian prince who committed treason against his father. In the 60s, this mummy was found in the Deir al-Bahari royal cache in Luxor, wrapped in sheepskin with a screaming face. The identity of the mummy was not known until 2020, when it was discovered to belong to a princess named Nefertiti, whose identity is still uncertain because there were many princesses with the same name, like the Meretem of King Sekenere Tau of the 17th dynasty and Meritamen, the daughter of King Ramses II of the 19th dynasty. To ascertain the cause of the deceased's death, the body was taken for a scan, which revealed the deceased suffered from a heart condition called severe atherosclerosis of the coronary arteries, a disease in which the artery becomes narrow and hardened, leading to a significant insufficient supply of blood. Further research is being made to identify the real identity of the mummy. Hopefully, scientists will be able to make headway in their research. Number 1. Lost Golden City of Luxor. The archaeological breakthrough of September 2020 uncovered the lost golden city in Luxor, Egypt, a 3,400-year-old marvel. Situated on Luxor's western bank, the city emerged as the grandest administrative and industrial hub during the Egyptian Empire. This beautiful city was established during the reign of Amenhotep III, also known as Nebmatra or the Dazzling Aten. However, a surprising turn came with the ascension of his son, Amenhotep IV, to the throne. Upon ascension, Amenhotep IV, the city capital, moved from Thebes to another city called Akhenaten. He went further by changing his name to Akhenaten, which means devoted to Aten. Unfortunately, nearly everything about his presence was erased from all record shortly after his death. Thanks to this discovery, the reason behind his actions will be unveiled. What do you think about these discoveries? Which one came as a shock to you? Let us know what you think in the comment section. Thank you for watching.